Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the JT Foxx Show. And I know you're thinking what I'm thinking. Who is this guy wearing a yellow tuxedo and a hat? You know, I didn't see what he looked like until now when I first heard of him. But as you know, we interviewed some of the biggest names in the world. And, I was just, I don't know, I was bored. I'm in the car. I said, you know what, let me put some, I didn't want to listen to music. I wanted to get better. And I was listening to a podcast and I was scrolling. There was all these topics. And I don't know why. I just stuck me. I just clicked it. And Jesse came on. And it was so, number one, impactful what he was saying. Number two, it's what we had done, but maybe we stopped doing to a certain extent. And he made me realize that. And as soon as that happened, I sent it to my CEO. I said, listen to this. I told Sam, my producer, I want that guy. And that was 5 days ago. And now we're here today. So Jesse Cole from the SavanaBananas, which you'll find out what that is there. How are you, buddy?
Man, fired up to be with you. You guys work fast too. Make it happen. I'm pumped to be here.
Well, speed of implementation is part of success, right? From the moment I had an idea to the moment I implemented. So I want to get back. The person that interviewed you, what you did is you sent a handwritten note thanking him for the inspiration he did. He was so impressed by it. He then called you. You didn't call you, and then he was probably impressed with you, and then put you on a show. And that's that little touch. So let's kind of start with that, and then we'll back then there as well. What was your reasoning about sending a personal note? And had that worked before? Had it worked for a bigger name before? Like, what was the purpose of that?
Yeah, well, 5 years ago, 2016, I was on an airbed. We had sold our house, emptied out our savings account, and I realized I was running a baseball team, but we were failing. And I realized I needed to improve my sphere of influence and learn more. And so I picked a one word for the year. You're probably familiar with John Gordon. You pick one word instead of a New Year's resolution. And my word was care. And I said, well, I got to hold myself accountable. What am I going to do to actual care? And I said, I'm going to do the thank you experiment and write one thank you letter a day for the entire year. So I committed to it. I bought 500 custom yellow thank you letters. And I just loaded the list and started writing. And so I reached out to people, old teachers, coaches, people in my life. And I started my day with gratitude every day. And David Novak, obviously many years later, was one that he impacted me. I read his books, wrote him a thank you letter. And so I've sent probably 2,000 or 3,000 thank you letters, and it indirectly has connected me with more people than I ever imagined.
How many calls did you get back?
Calls, one in maybe 20, call back. But I would say letters back and connections, emails, probably 1 in 5.
And what's the biggest name that got back to you? I mean, David is the guy who ran Taco Bell. So what was there like? Was he the biggest one, or was there somebody else that was big?
I'd have to think. Simon Sinek gave me a call right after a thank you letter. So he called me right away and he said, Jesse, it's Simon Sinek. I go, shut up. Who is it? And he said, it's Simon Sinek. And he's like, I told him he was lying. I didn't expect that because, again, when I started writing that, I was, in my early 30s, started doing it, and I didn't expect that. So Simon, a lot of those big authors were the ones that I first reached out to.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to get feedback because you don't have feedback on your work other than your sales as well. So I think that's a part of it. So your notion was more like a gratitude thing, or there was a strategic.
Yeah, I was in a bad spot. I was in a really bad spot. My wife and I were struggling. We only sold 2 tickets with our team. And I was like, I got to be grateful. And also, while I do it, and let people know I made an impact in my life, and then potentially increase my sphere of influence by letting them know how I've either learned from them or implemented what they're doing.
So I know you've said it a million times, but I think because there's so much of the audience that don't know you, so it's not like one of those things. If you can give the story about what the hell is the SavanaBananas and how's that come about? I heard the story as well, but for the sake of the audience, we must give it. So I will take one for the team so that the audience truly gets the full, because it is a phenomenal story. And then we'll go deep into some questions.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing it now. I'm very humble. I'm just a circus guy running a baseball team. But, what business are you in? What business are you really in? And we're not in the baseball business. We're full-fledged in the entertainment business. And, I heard in Mobile, Alabama, where we went and took our show to the road, they started calling the world famous baseball circus is coming to town. So we are now becoming a world famous baseball circus.
Are you trying to be like the Globetrotters?
We've been compared to them a lot. I mean, it's really interesting right now. And again, going from the Stros, we have more TikTok followers than any Major League Baseball team. We're getting followed all over the world because it's not about baseball. It's about the show. It's about the fun. We have breakdancing first base coach. We have a male cheerleading team, a full pep band. We had a guy come up to bat in stilts.
Is this a real team? Is this a real team and
This is real baseball. Yeah. So 5 years ago, we started as the lowest level of baseball there is, JT. I mean, you got Major League, AAA, AA, High A. We were college summer baseball. And I bought a team, my wife and I, we went from zero debt to $1.8 million in debt. And then we proceeded to try to act like a baseball team.
That included the stadium?
No, we didn't get the stadium. No, it's buying the team. Then we had another team, and then putting the money into the ballpark. We have a lease. It was just a lot of money to get a team started. And we started, and we failed. We were acting like everyone else, marketing like everyone else. We sold 2 tickets in our first 3 months. And in January 2016, my wife and I got a phone call. We overdrafted our account. We were completely out of money, and we had to sell our house, empty our savings account. And we said, we got to get down to Savannah and go all in on creating something so much different than any other baseball team. We cannot be like a baseball team. And that's when we went all in and really changed the game. And so if you want to know some of the things we did.
My team 1.8, it's you and your wife. They come in there. And from what I understand, based on the story you said, obviously the market wasn't really receptive to. By the way, were you the SavanaBananas when you started?
We were a brand new team with no name. And so JT, to give us some context, there were 90 years of professional baseball at this stage. Professional, higher level than us. Babe Ruth played here, Hank Aaron, it was top level, but no one was coming to games. 200 people, 300 people, because they were just a baseball team and people couldn't care. So they left, the team left, and then the stadium was abandoned. We convinced the city to let our small little team come in. And then we proceeded to fail until we changed the business we were in and looked at everything that sucks and that's brutal about baseball and do the exact opposite.
So I remember you saying that you put a contest on there with a lot of names and then one person said a banana. Were you thinking that and someone said that, or you got the idea from that one person, SavanaBananas, or you had it in mind and you were just one person validating the concept?
I think what we said was we wanted something dramatically different from all our fans. And we got 999 completely normal names. And we got one that was bananas. And I think when we got that, we all of a sudden started thinking, oh yes, we could have a senior citizen dance team called the Banana Nanas. You know, we could have our mascots split. We could have a male cheerleading team, the Bananas. We started thinking of all the marketing opportunities to have fun with the brand. And it came from there. And then we went all in on going bananas.
What was the second name that potentially could have been, if that was not it, that was a backup plan?
We named our other team. So now, as you mentioned, we're kind of the Globetrotters, as we have another team that we travel around the country playing, the Party Animals.
As the name of Party Animal. I like SavanaBananas better. The Party Animals.
100%. Yes, 100%. SavanaBananas, there's a lot more opportunity. The Party Animals is now this villain that loves to party, but there's still some character opportunities we've built with them.
So you get in and you take, there's 200 people, nobody's going. You come up with SavanaBananas. You're obviously an excitable guy, huge enthusiasm, passion. You're probably like, we landed on us. Like, did you expect to have like that initial where everybody said it's not going to be a good name, it's not going to like it? Like, what's the plan? Because what you're saying to me, how much of that you learned from Mark Cuban, who he took over the Dallas Mavericks from Ross Perot, where nobody was going, it was the worst league. And he came up, and the first thing is he brought that experience back, right? Was there any from that? Did you know about that? Because when you told the story, I was like, this is very similar to what Mark Cuban did.
A lot of respect for Mark, and I've read his book and reached out to him, and he was one person that responded as well. But yeah, but he always responds. He's great. But no, Walt Disney and P.T. Barnum. In my office, I got a P.T. Barnum custom poster and a Walt Disney custom poster. I've read every book on them. And, P.T. Barnum says it best: without promotion, something terrible happens. Nothing.
So I'm going to go deeper because I heard you say that. And it's funny is when I was in the interview, I'm like, ask this question. Now I get to ask the real questions.
Yeah.
So let's go over Walt Disney, right? Yeah. Disney is the master of the experience, while the ultimate wow factor. And I always tell people this, is that your business is like a theme park, right? You can be the P.T. Barnum on the outside, but if the experience sucks on the inside, they'll turn back out. And then you have the greatest experience inside. But if the outside, there's no one to get it in as well. So is that along the lines of what you're thinking as well? So let's break down Disney. What is it about Disney? Because what you're basically saying to the audience is one of the things I've taught on stage and all over is conceptual implementation, right? Take something from Disney. How do I apply it to something completely different? So tell us the thought process. What do you see from them and how you're applying it to the business?
100%. Well, Walt Disney was the master of designing the experience and mapping out what happens when people envision when they come into an actual theme park. So what I learned so much from Walt Disney, you go to every sporting event, JT. How many gates do they have? They have one gate here, gate here, gate here. Walt thought of everything like a movie. And he said, I'm going to control the experience. I'm going to have an opening shot. I'm going to control when they first walk in, what they see, what they smell, what they feel. And literally he mapped it all out, every single touch point. He was so far ahead of his game. He was in the experience economy when no one was even thinking about experience economy. And he decided to, I mean, everything he did was so intentional. The theme, the castle, it was a weenie, what he called. He called this thing weenies that he used to lure his dog to come get. It was a weenie. Come get this, follow me. He wanted things that took people to different places and different experiences. And so when we started thinking about Walt and his vision, how could we map an entire baseball experience from what is normally long, slow, and boring, which normally you get nickel and dimed. I mean, JT, every ticket at our ballpark, you can't come in our stadium without every ticket, including all your hot dogs, burgers, chicken sandwiches, soda, water, popcorn, dessert. Every single ticket. Because that's a Walt Disney and a cruise line. It's a better experience, but no one else is doing it.
You go to Walt Disney, you do get raped. I mean, that food's expensive there. If they don't have the all-inclusive, right? And now with the smart things, they have the thing where you go in and you basically it increase the life, but that's not all-inclusive at Disney.
But how Disney started. But how Disney started was you had to pay for every single ride, and you would buy an entry fee and then you would pay. And he's like, that wasn't a great experience. So now I want a book where you can get all the rides included and all the entertainment included. So it started from that, and Walt changed it, just like evolving. You're right, the food is not included, but it started, you get all
but do you think that Disney, if they did this, because it is expensive, right? Because people say, I'm going to go in there and there's plus, or because they're such a large corporation now, and it's all about the bottom line, that they have that experience and they're more corporate. I mean, I don't know if you probably heard stories on that. Dealing with Disney is just not an easy thing. The layers of they almost too corporate is what many people say. So you have that experience. Okay, so tell us this. So nobody's going to the ballpark. You're going there as well, and you're getting heat because it's called SavanaBananas. What are some of the first 5 moves that you make in your business?
So the first 5 moves, after we named the team the Bananas, and you mentioned we were ridiculed. The owner should be thrown out of town. You guys are an embarrassment to the city. But I always believe you got to get attention first. You got to get the eyes and the ears before you can get the heart. And so we at least got them talking about us. So that was the first step. All right. Then the next step was letting everyone know this is different. We are all inclusive. So even if you don't think you like baseball, come in and get all your food. It's a great deal. So we want to let people know that that was one thing different. Then we knew once you get into the ballpark, we mapped it. So we said, all right, what's normal baseball experience? You play music, the players play. What if the players did choreographed dances? That's something we want to tell people. This is a show. This is not a baseball game. So we brought in a dance instructor and taught the players how to dance. Then we brought in a pep band. Then we focused all in on everything that happens when you come into the ballpark.
What about the numbers though? Let's go back to the numbers. All inclusive food, right? Are you a numbers guy? Because you could say like, okay, let's say, first of all, how many people could fit in the ballpark? That's first.
Yeah. So we're 4,000 a night. And so as from selling 2 tickets, every single game now sold out. There's a wait list in the thousands, but only 4,000 is what can come into our ballpark.
Okay. So I guess psychologically, did you just say to yourself, are we going to get to 4,000? Because that's insane. Because you go 200, 4,000, that's a lot. Yep. And are you basically like doing the math about what if everybody goes back 3-4 times? Like, was there math involved, or there's like
everything starts? Yeah. Without getting too macro, I'll start macro and bring it down. Macro, right. The name of our company is Fans First Entertainment. And so fans first, entertain always is how we make every decision. Is it fans first? So we put ourselves in our customers' shoes. Every night we actually go undercover and go park with the fans, sit with the fans, walk in with the fans. So we said, all right, what would be a price that would be great for a fan? Forget about the prices right now. We don't know the cost. Start with the fan. And we said $15. That's what we started at. And we said $15. What would that cost us? And we said, I don't know, maybe people have 3 burgers, 4 tops. The most they have. Will it be $7? Will it be $8? Regardless, they're paying $15 where they were coming to that former team for free or paying $2. So we increased the price, but also increased the value dramatically. So we had no idea who would show up. And JT, the first game, it was the worst experience ever. Fans waited 6 to 7 innings to get food. We had no idea we were going to go through 10,000 pieces of meat in an hour. And as you know this, when you do something brand new, it's always messy and sucks in the beginning. But you have to have launching
an app, right? And you got bugs, and then
it's messy. But you have to find out. You don't find out until you do it.
But you also never get a second chance at making a first impression, which then that could mess up your brand. So that must be stressing.
100 is extremely stressful. So what I try to say is, you know what? We're going to be the best at the show. We're going to win the show. If they have to wait for food, we're still going to win the show, and then we're going to get the food better. And so we focused on making the show so special that we could wow you with that, and then we'll get the food better. So yeah, the food sucked. It was a bad experience. The next game, it took about an inning to get food. Then we got it. Now it's 5 minutes. We moved the drink. So people put drinks in their hand first. Then they go to food. We strategically figured out a way to do that better, to focus on the show.
Are you looking at ways to like, hey, let me feed them? Like, you know how like these buffets are like the salad bar, because salad is cheaper. So you're fuller, like, so you don't like dump into the shrimp as there, or you're just like, are you thinking strategically like that or not at all?
I mean, the only adjustment we made was moving the drinks. Other than that, we want people to take advantage of us. It sounds crazy. We want people to come and say,
alcohol is separate?
Alcohol has to be separate. Yeah, we can't do free alcohol.
Yeah.
But what's happened is at first we realized, then we started realizing it's $4 to $5 a head. And then people going on a cruise line, JT, you think about you on a cruise line, you get all your food, your entertainment included, but because you feel like you have such a good value, you buy the extra shirts, the extra beer, the extra experiences, you buy all that. So what's happened is our per cap is double, 3 times anyone else in the league, and we're giving all the food away in one ticket.
It's not a loss leader because actually you're making profit coming in. Because if it was a break even and then you get it on merchandise and beers, that'd be like the buffet casino model in a way, right?
Yeah, and that's not the model for us. We don't have resources. We don't have the money to be losing on areas. But if you start with the fans, is it a better experience? Is it better to get all your food where you don't take money out of your pocket? And that's where we started. And then that's why, JT, we eliminated ads this past year. There's no advertisements in our ballpark. We're the only ad-free ballpark in the country. We threw away hundreds of thousands of dollars 2 weeks before the pandemic hit.
Why?
My 2-year-old yesterday, or 2 days ago, he was actually watching on a video on YouTube. And I'm actually taking a shower. So he's in my room in the bathroom. And I hear, "Daddy, I don't like ads." And immediately he learned how to skip the ads on YouTube. This is a 2-year-old who hates ads. You tell me when you're on YouTube, anywhere else, they are interruptions, all right? They are tough and people don't like them. When you come to a baseball game, JT, explain me this. You come to a baseball game, do you want to be advertised to? Do you want to hear all these things? There's value to partners that add to an experience, but just interrupting you at a baseball game, we realized that wasn't fans first. So we threw away hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what happened immediately? We had more people reaching out from all over the country saying, we support you, that you truly are fans first. You're putting your money where your mouth is. And now our merchandise is a 7-figure plus brand. It's doubled in 1 year. And people are more wanting to support us, understanding we're not trying to do things to actually make their experience worse. Everything we do, there's no ticket fees, no convenient fees, there's no shipping fees. We eliminate all of it. We leave a lot of money on the table, but we're playing the long game. And I think we're going to win in the long game.
And what is the long game? Because obviously that advertising, I mean, you could in the same way, you got rid of ads, but you're creative enough to incorporate, whether it's placement or fun things sponsored by this. I mean, yeah, because that is part, I mean, ads are part of, now have become part of the process. So
everything. Every sports team in the country, it's a majority of their revenue. Ads were only 10% of our revenue to begin with. So we only threw away 10% of our revenue. And now we've already made up for it. And so same thing with limited shipping. Our long game is that we want to play all over the world, take the show all over the world, and be the most fans first sports organization there is. And I think if you do that, you will win, and people won't feel like they're getting taken advantage of. Even Disney, people walk and say, "I'm broke. There's so many of those commercials. I'm broke." I don't want that to happen for people. So it's a volume game, like anything for us. If we play in front of 1 million people, we win.
But you're already at capacity, right? So when you're at capacity, so now the next thing is, how do I maximize what I'm currently doing now, which would be obviously ads and strategic, because you're full, you got the audience, you're captive as well, and you're like taking away that revenue. So explain to me what you think the long game is.
Sure. And Brandon Steiner said it best on my show. He said, capacity is a state of mind. So I think whenever you get to a capacity, that's exciting because now you have to find a new creative way to get around it. So what we have done to continue to grow is we said, all right, we have capacity at our ballpark in our current league. But we said, well, what if we're in a league of our own? What if we play year round? Why do we have to play just in the 30 games in the typical league? So we started testing this. Last year, we had a Fansgiving game in November. Then we took the show on the road. We went to other cities. Mobile, Alabama, a month ago in a pandemic, people started lining up at 1 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. 7,000 people showed up. Luckily, we got clearance and the ballpark was spread out. So now we have cities reaching out to us. So what is our capacity? Our capacity is more to go to other cities and bring the show that they've never seen it before. So for us, we think it's unlimited.
Same players or different players?
These are the professional guys where we've developed. So we have our college league, which is just college, which will be here for a bit. And then we're developing pro guys to play this new banana ball game, which again is defeating the last thing that sucks about baseball. It's too long, too slow, too boring. So I know this is convoluted, but what I'll say is, like, I learned this from a hot dog stand. You think about a hot dog stand and, you got great condiments. You got the mustard, the ketchup, the sauerkraut, but the hot dog still needs work. All right. That's our bananas experience. So right now, currently, we are very good at the show, really good at the fun. There's nonstop promotions, but the hot dog baseball still needs work. So the last thing we had to attack in the friction of experience was attack the hot dog, and that's baseball. So we developed a new game called Banana Ball, a 2-hour fast-paced, nonstop action game. That's what we're taking the show on the road And that's what we're going to keep playing with and for the fans. And that's where we don't think we have a capacity.
So I don't know. So you have 30 days of games.
Yes.
And obviously, what are you doing the rest of the year?
There you go.
And by the way, is there like all your money's made in that 30-day period and then you live off of that? I know there's merchandise and everything, but like from an income standpoint, like what do you do?
Yeah. So the games are the majority of our income, but then merchandise is now 20-25%. So merchandise is, like I said, becoming a big 7-figure brand. And so that is going constant. And now if you play games year round, so every game that we play games in the spring in this banana ball, we play games in the fall, banana ball. So all of those continue to drive fans, then drives revenue. So whereas most teams, they think if they have a season, why do you have to season? Question this. And I think that's what I've learned so much from some of these Walt Disney, P.T. Barnum. They questioned everything. They changed their mindset and saying, this is the way it has to be. So what if we play year round? What if we play in different cities? And all those things we can do. So then there's revenue more year round, as opposed to just being in one chunk of time, which was a lot, but it's one chunk of time.
Did the pandemic affect you? Because obviously the sports world affected a lot of these teams. So how did the pandemic affect you and what did you do to pivot?
We took a 7-figure hit. But I was told by our accountant we might be the only sports team that was profitable in 2020. So we found a way to get profit. And how do we pivot? So we started asking, how do we show the games differently? So we developed a streaming service, and we actually started having drones during games, miking up players, letting fans choose who was going to pitch and play. So we played games at a very small crowd. We had to turn away 50,000 people that bought tickets because of social distancing. But we developed that whole streaming platform. We developed a new Savannah Banana cream soda, a new slippery banana alcoholic drink. We developed things around the brand that fans can now migrate to. And that started being building the brand and building more fans.
So I heard why, but I'm a little bit deeper. Why you wear what you wear, right? I have a JT Foxx look, right?
You look good.
Yeah, I have the JT Foxx. I don't have a yellow tie, but I have gold. That's called Sunday gold. But and I get it at the ballpark, like that people would. I'm a mascot, I'm the brand and stuff like that. But you like to now wear it at the airport, everywhere you go. I guess the interview like that makes you memorable and things like that. But how important is that really? Could you just be like the business guy, right? Because you're a business guy at the end of the day. Yeah. And are you afraid? Yes, you're getting attention, but that people will not take you seriously. Because I don't know if I just saw you, I'll be like, dude, the guy's whacked. But you're not, you know what I mean? Because I've heard you, like I could tell, that's why I reached out. I didn't see what you look like. And I purposely didn't Google it because I wanted to experience it myself. Like I might not approach you because I'd be like, what the fuck, guy looks like he's crazy. But what you're saying is great, is business genius. So tell us about that thought process.
Well, I never thought this in perspective. I'll tell you kind of where it came from, but in perspective, everyone, when we came up with SavanaBananas, thought it was crazy. We got ridiculed, we got criticized, but then they realized what was behind it. And then it became even more of a story, more interesting, more fascinating on why we were doing it. So why do I do this? JT, did you play sports when you were a kid? Yeah. What sports you play?
Baseball, basketball, soccer.
All right, so you played them all. All right, there's a difference between wearing your practice gear and then putting on your uniform. When you put on your uniform, it's game time. It's a different mindset. All right. What I
feel like
that's your uniform. And Todd Herman talks about this great in The Alter Ego. So many people have that thing that they put on. And so I realized when I was reading everything about P.T. Barnum, I was putting on a show at our ballpark and I was dressed like everyone else. I wasn't into it. I wasn't fully committed to it. And I decided one day I'm just like, I'm going to go all out, see what happens. I put it on and it took it to another level. Fans started like loving it, enjoying it. And now it's become my uniform and it's everything that I do. And so now, like what I believe is everybody has something that makes them stand out. It's why I wrote a book, Find Your Yellow Tux. And so that's the whole purpose. I believe when I put this on, I'm on stage and it's a show. And more than anything, JT, it gives permission to everyone that I interact with, people on my team, our staff, our characters, to have a little fun, to not take themselves too seriously, to be a little goofy. And I think that makes such a big difference. Are people going to judge? 5,000%. But if they at least judge and say, you know what, he's about having fun. He's doing things
like that. You must be like that. Like I have 3 personalities. There's my personality on stage, which actually you saw when you saw me speak in Charlotte on 4,000 people. And then there's me in business, which is a completely different. And then there's personal, like I'm a little bit different that as well. I get the feeling that you're kind of the same guy when the camera's off. There's enthusiasm, the positivity, like that's kind of who
I've learned that from my dad. I mean, and the reality is when I'm not working, this is what I'm with my kids and I have an amazing foster daughter and my 2-year-old son, and this is off. I am dad. But when I'm working, this is my uniform. And yeah, it's been uncomfortable at times, but I teach, I think you got to get uncomfortable to actually grow. And you've taught that and you've preached that. So
how about the tension? I'm a polarizing figure. I'm straightforward, no BS, say how it is. You know what I mean? And I tell the truth and people don't like the truth, right? So, but that's my brand. It made me one of the top in the world, what I do. But there's always like that extra attention. Is there such a thing as bad attention, or any attention is good attention? Because sometimes I struggle, like, I don't know, I'm the type of guy, I don't like negativity. Like I hate reading, especially when it's not true. Like if you say something about me and it's true, it's one thing. But I find a lot of the negativity, the trolling, the haters is not true. And as a result, you sort of guard your public image like a celebrity. Yeah. And then you, on the other hand, don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So how much is that? Maybe explain the idea of the promotion. And maybe we're like, I don't know if you learned that PT Barnum. I mean, as I'm talking to you, it's like, is there something I'm missing from PT Barnum that I could learn? Like, that's what I was thinking while you're saying that.
Oh, there's so much to learn from P.T. Barnum. I mean, Joe Vitale's book, there's a customer born every minute, is one of the most fascinating books about business with PT. And but yeah, I mean, I really don't know where you're going with that question, other than it's been something that I tested, I tried, and now
I'm just saying attention in general, like
attention.
Like, they batshit crazy things. And I'm not saying you do, but in general.
It's how P.T. Barnum did everything. Attention beats marketing 1,000% of the time. We marketed like everyone else for the first 6 months of the SavanaBananas, and we sold 2 tickets. It wasn't until we got crazy and started playing games in kilts and started literally giving away porta-johns and colon cleansing and having Dolce & Banana underwear that we actually throw out instead of t-shirts. Everything that we did, we think
better boxers. Like,
what's that?
I'd wear them if they were boxers.
But they're not as funny. They're not as funny though.
That grandpa rose that. And by the way, you need a bigger banana. You know what I mean? I gotta come on my.
Yeah, well, like that. Oh, of course, JT. Now you got me going now. So then here's the small banana. All right. So then the small banana, and then we got the big banana. All right. And it's all part of the game. So everything is, what are you doing that's remarkable? What are you doing that's remarkable? I don't care if people think we're a little crazy. We did Dolce & Banana commercials. Our rival is the Making Bacon. We have
great name, by the way. I heard that. That's a brilliant name.
We have fun. Our rival's Making Bacon. We have Making Bacon Euro cakes. We just bought Making Bacon toilet paper. So people are going in their bathrooms and they're peeing on our rival. Like, it's not everyone's gonna love it, but they may talk about it. So I think everything starts with attention. That's the yellow tux.
There's a Making Bacon competition?
There's a Making Bacon team in our league.
After or before you?
Oh, they came after us. Yeah, they came after us.
Okay, so they're copying you. So now you're seeing people are changing that. So you kind of feel that people are changing that.
Yeah, which is good. Which is good. If they're making the game fun, it's a win. And I don't care if anyone.
Yeah, it's interesting too.
Yeah.
Did something disruptive. What are the mistakes that you did? Let's talk about those and things that you tried that were just didn't work out.
Oh, geez. I mean, you could go, back in the day, we did world's largest tickets. Again, we actually do scratch and sniff tickets that smell like bananas. We tried everything, but we did the world's largest tickets. They were giant. They were like posters. Our fans were like, what the heck do we do with these? They don't fit in my pocket. They don't fit in my pocket. These are the worst things ever. Fansgiving. Last year, we had a game in November, and we said we were going to starve our fans for the first 66 minutes in honor of the 66-day journey of the Pilgrims. So we actually didn't so we had rations. We threw out bread. We threw out candy corn into the crowd. We did something crazy. The first comment on Facebook that night, tonight was an absolute cluster because people couldn't get fed. We tried something crazy and our fans didn't like it. But then the next 5 comments were people defending us. The first time we did our drone, it actually went into the trees. The first time we did mic'd up players, literally you couldn't hear it. It was like, everything we do sucks in the beginning. And we teach our staff to embrace the suck. The new game we're playing, the rules were crazy in the beginning. They're getting better. So, it's hard for me to answer mistakes because we move on to our next at bat very, very quickly. That's a tough question for you. You've been telling you, but I'm like, you're not thinking about your failures. You're thinking about what's next.
Right. But you also learn from your failures, which is part of it too, as well.
Yeah. Look at it.
So have you been offered someone to buy you, like at this point through the years, or someone come and say, I want to buy you out? Has that happened yet?
We've had groups that are interested, but I haven't really pursued it too much.
Right. And what else would you do? You'd have to start Chicago oranges.
Like, Amazon and Jeff Bezos, you can say whatever you want to say about him, but he always says it's just day one. And they're 25.
What would your business be worth, like based on what you do? Is there valuation on your business right now?
Yes. I know there's no number I would sell it for. So what is it worth?
No, I'm just curious to see for the purpose
of
the
growth opportunity. I guess you could compare it similar to the Globetrotters. So in a sense, if we go and we start playing 100, 200 games all around the country with the merch and with everything and do it, it becomes a pretty heavy brand. And
I like what you said. I just went to this. I have so many businesses, so many companies, so many things. And in the last 2 weeks, I just got rid of so many things. Like I call it spring cleaning. I just got rid of everything. And because it was taking away my main focus of what the best thing is. And when you hit that, like, it's almost like I wish I'd listened to that earlier, but it was a reinforcement. And I've done very well. It's just, you're just chasing a lot of things that end up taking more of your energy off your main thing, which you can't go vertical. You're just horizontal. Talk about that epiphany moment for you. And what was it? You're like, God, what am I doing?
So I just had my son, me and Emily, my wife, and my wife's in this on every step of the way. So she started as our director of fun, and she's really our director of heart now. And so we did this together. We had our son, and we had another team in Gastonia, North Carolina. And we were traveling back and forth, trying to do it all. And Gastonia was suffering. Savannah wasn't doing all of it. And every team, every owner, you know too, they look at buying numerous teams. We said, we have something in a bottle right here that no one else is doing. And I always say, not just what are you better at, but what makes you the only. Right now, the SavanaBananas is the only team playing banana ball with the breakdancing coach, with all of our characters, with dancing players. Why don't we go all in on this? And we're 5 years in, and it's, 7-figure growth every year because we are focused, relentless on this. So the eye-opening moment for me, we sold the other team. We sold, everything has become going bananas, fully committing to bananas. And we're only on year 6, going into year 6. So I look at this as like, I can't imagine what the next 5 years are. And then the next 5 years, if we stay focused instead of pursuing this. Now, are we going to build Banana Land like a Disneyland? Is this ballpark going to become a huge destination, with Bananas Brewery, Bananas Zipline, Bananas Airbnb? Yes, but it's all under the SavanaBananas brand. That's a different thing. We own the IP.
Do you give the tours? Like, how like you go to ballparks and people have tours like during off games and everything, part of the experience? Is that part of it?
Yeah, but again, it's not unbelievably tourable. It's a 1926 ballpark. FDR spoke here, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, but they all played here. But the reality is, it's still a 1926 ballpark. It's an old ballpark. Once we design
what if you have some like a banana on standby? You play ball with a banana, an experience of actually playing. Like,
there you go. That's what our president's talking so much. The biggest opportunity we have, instead of eliminating sponsorship, is adding experiences. Can you have the chance to play for the Bananas? There's no rules in our league. Could you play? Could you become a coach? We've already had people auction off to win the coach. All those opportunities, we can give experience.
You're the next banana.
What's that?
No, you're the next banana.
Yeah, on the next, sit in the dugout, be all that. All those experiences, because there's no rules, you can do things that fans could never get anywhere else. And that's what we'll start trying to own. And we're still trying to figure it out, but it's been fun as hell, I'll tell you that.
I say people like WoW is the biggest brand builder, UnWow is the biggest brand killer. You mentioned a few things that were super wows that are just, can you talk about what are the wows in your business where the fans are like, man, that experience is just, you mentioned a few things that really caught my attention. I don't want to say it, just want to have you say it. So, because I could actually recast that interview. As you can see, I did listen. So
I appreciate it. Well, the question I always ask, and I think JT, you probably do with many people you work with, is what makes you different? And it's the hardest question anybody can answer. What they normally go to is, I'm a little better at this. I'm a little cheaper. I'm a little faster. I'm a little this. I have this.
Or I work hard. I care.
Yes. They don't have, what are they the only? And we actually have an acronym for this, only. O, you got to own the problems in your industry. N, you got to be able to create noise. L, you got to master the loves. You got to love your customers more than you love your product. You got to love your people, your team, even more than your customers. And you got to love yourself to be the best for them. And then why do you do what you do? You got to understand the purpose. So we've created the only. And if you go on our website, on our About Us page, we have our banana story, and then we have all the things that we're the only one doing. And so when you think about that, on your website, on your business, can you say, what are the only things that you're doing in your industry? And so we go through, we're the only team where every ticket in the ballpark is all inclusive. We're the only team that has a breakdancing first base coach. We're the only team that has a male cheerleading team called the Bananas. We're the only team, it keeps going. There's a substantial list of what we do. The only team that plays in kilts. We're the only team that has a guy in stilts that plays during the games. And then you just keep going. Only team that has ad-free ballpark. And then you keep going. And then what you're doing is you're building your remarkable list, or what you said, your wow list. What is your wow list? We don't have the money to market. We never did. We started with zero resources. We spend $0 on marketing, on any traditional marketing. But when you build that, then you create an army of marketers that do all the marketing for you. And that's why our merchandise is growing 6 figures a month and just growing, because our fans are spreading.
How did you get the people in though at first? Because you were like 2 tickets.
One sellout
to 4,000. I know there's odds, but did you spend marketing at first, or like?
Yes, we marketed. Yes, I think marketing can get customers, as you know. Marketing can get customers, but marketing doesn't create fans. And the future is not based on how many customers you have; it's about how many fans you have. Love is more important than like. So we spent some money doing marketing to get them in. But what we did is we focused on scarcity. We sold out our box seats. We looked at what is the minimum viable thing you can sell out, and we said we have 368 box seats. Can we put all our energy into this and then announce to the public, box seats are sold out? And then the community's like, oh my God, they're selling out things. And then we went to the hospital and we said, all right, Memorial Hospital, will you do one big outing and take care of all your people? One big outing, it'll be a great experience. All the food's included, everything. They said yes. So then we announced, first game sold out. So we tell the whole community, the game's already sold out. So the fans are like, this team never sold out games ever. What is going on? FOMO. You want to be a part of it. You understand. And each sellout led to each one.
It was free. It was technically a sellout. I get.
Well, no, they bought it. No, they bought tickets.
They bought it.
They spent $45,000. They bought the tickets. They bought the tickets.
Because how did you get them to spend $45,000? Because it is a lot of money.
We got the meeting, and we knew that in the past they have done big corporate food buffets, things for them. And we said, hey, here's something we're going to get all your entertainment. Here's what we're doing. Our players dance. We do this, and all your food's included for $15. And they're like, it usually costs us more than $15 just to get food catered in. That's we created a better opportunity, better value, and they gave us a shot. And then we used that to sell that to the public. And then people were like, we got to get tickets. Their games are actually selling out.
Are you a draw when you go to other towns? Do you guys become like, is that the thing now, you bring more people in? Kind of like with the Michael Jordan, when there was the White Sox, they came in and it was just, everything was a sellout, or Tim Tebow or.
Good question. Not in our league, because we don't travel with the show. But as we're training this world famous circus that goes around, when we went to Mobile, Alabama, we brought 100 people, our full pep band, our male cheerleading team, all our dancers, all our performers, both teams. And it was sold out. The first night sold out in one day. The next night sold out a few days later, and 7,000 people showed up. So when we go and it's actually a SavanaBananas experience, yes. But if we're just playing a game on the road, it's just regular baseball. And why would anyone care?
Right. Oh, because it's not your ballpark.
It's not our ballpark. There's no music. There's no entertainment. It's just a regular baseball game, and the Bananas are having to play.
Have you thought about the anchor of old baseball player, like some well-known that just, bored out of their mind? Maybe they blew all their money to bring that, maybe one old guy that played baseball or that's known, that's still in the game against these young guys. Like, have you thought about that? Like bringing an anchor kind of.
Man, I like the way you think. We actually, when we went to Mobile, Jake Peavy, a Cy Young Award winner, won 2 World Series championships. He was in Mobile. We got connected with him, the mayor. We built a great relationship. He was in uniform on the second game, all in, and he said to the media that he'll be pitching for the Bananas in 2022. And so when you got a name like that, who's very committed, very excited, obviously we're going to be looking at building more of those relationships, because yes, it's another thing that creates attention, but also what all those guys want. Baseball was too corporate. It was all about money. It was too competitive. This opportunity to come out and just have fun. That's what it's all about. These kids we do weigh-ins before our games, JT, like literally like boxing, UFC. They come out and got on a scale in underwear. And I mean, these guys are having the time of their life. And I think that's what I think a lot of players want, and not to be so competitive. So hopefully it's a win-win for the players and the fans. And Jake had a time of his life, and are excited to potentially have him part of it next year.
2 more questions. What's your biggest challenge right now in terms of your business? What are you facing right now?
People. And I think it's all, you hear that from Jim Collins, you hear it from everyone. It's the who on the bus. We have an amazing team. I love, we honestly have a special team. We do a lot of things. We build 1% of our total budget goes to surprises and delights for them. And so we plan a lot of trips and a lot of things for them. It's leveling up and continuing to bring in talented people. Video is huge for us. It's why we have more followers on TikTok than the MLB teams, but we need to continue to improve our branding and level and creative. And so we're looking to hire every year. So that's the big challenge, to, just bring on people that are smarter and better than you, and how to find those people and compel them with the story of what you're trying to build, that the vision drives them coming, and maybe not the highest price that they deserve at first.
All right, full disclosure. So I didn't know this. You saw me on stage. It was me, Marcus Lemonis, Barbara Corcoran, Robert Herjavec, Tony Robbins. I was on the big stage as well. Yeah. Full disclosure, you be as honest as possible. I didn't ask you that before. I just found out that you did. What did you think of me on stage? Full disclosure. And even it hurts my feelings. That's okay. I'm just curious. It takes a lot of humility to ask that question, because you're coming off Tony Robbins, who's arguably the best speaker in the country, in the world. Overly confident. I understood what you were trying to do, and because people didn't know you, maybe not everyone knew you. They were there for Tony Robbins. They were there for Marcus. And you came off very, 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 very confident. And so I had the 2 people sitting next to me, the business people, they're like, wow, this guy really thinks a lot of himself. And I saw it as yes, but also he believes it, and he's convincing people that it's the way they should be as well, to have confidence. So my first impression, the people next to you, did they like me?
Being open, not 100%.
Well, but here's the challenge, and you'll know this as well.
They're going to listen to this, which is so funny.
No, because what happens is this: Tony's not selling anything.
You were selling. You needed to get people to buy at the end of the run.
That's the problem, right? If I just do an hour speech and I just give content, and you're not selling, it's a different thing. The problem is that you have to push to the sale because ultimately you're measured by your sales, right? So,
You
and also too, you have an hour, which I
Yeah.
had 50 minutes, and you're selling something, which is ultimately was selling like a $9.97 product. And you got like 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and you got to prove credibility, do a great speech, you're a rush. Tony's got 4 hours. You know,
And
it's
he's not selling anything. He's not directly
not selling anything. So he comes up as a hero. The two people
Yeah.
sell comes up as an asshole.
So you built your validity as well as anyone I've ever seen. I mean, you built it, and that was part of the whole. But I guess it did feel like we were being sold on something, and I think that's what I believe, JT. I mean, you won. I saw people run up. You did it. I mean, you sold, and it worked.
Yeah, I did $3 million, so that's not bad.
So I can't criticize that at all, and it's a huge win. I believe in adrenaline. That's why I leave a lot of money on the table. Unfortunately, I believe people don't want to be sold to, marketed to, or advertised to. I believe they want to be entertained. I believe they want to have a story told. And so we do that and leave a lot of money on the table. I don't really have things that people can buy. I do keynotes and stuff and all that, but so we're playing that.
You don't get it re-invited because it's not my event. But here's my, to change the experiences. And I said this as a promoter, if you did 30 minutes, just pure content, have another speaker, and then come back, it takes away who the hell is this and stuff like that extra 30 minutes. And so those promoters never did. That's why probably they're out of business. And the other ones, pandemic kind of led to that. And the other one is going to go with my suggestion because I'm aware of it. Unfortunately, you're measured at the end of the day by your performance, and you're competing against other bunch of people that are just, like.
Did you had to sell? Did you have like a certain amount you had to sell? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
So
because, no, you don't get invited, because here's the thing too. Someone has to pay for Tony. Someone has to pay for Marco. You understand? I'm the guy. That's how they make money. The tickets, it's actually a loss leader. They lose money up front with the ticket.
Yeah.
So the money is made by my sales that I did. And in fact, here's the funny thing is I make zero upfront sales. All the money goes to them. And then once they go to a future event, then I still don't even make 100%. I make 60%. So if you just take a look at that, so basically you're working for, but here's the problem. If you can't close, you can't convert. And then so you have to push a lot more. And the other speaker that spoke bombed. I mean, people probably loved him more, but he bombed in sales wise.
You did exactly what you need. So knowing that whole perspective, I had an idea, but I didn't know the whole requirements. You did exactly what you needed to do. And if it's a point of trying to get people to develop fans and develop followers, that's a harder thing to do in an hour trying to sell people because no one wants to watch an hour ad to an extent.
Right. Because there's a formula number one, there's like, okay, who are you?
Yes.
Then teach something great of value,
Yes.
Prove what you say is true, prove that it can work for other people, and then sell.
Oh,
right. Like I was like, that's the formula because there are people that give great content. Like any of those big names, if they just gave great content at the end, I say, if you're interested in my program, nobody buys.
Yeah, 100%. You have to do it. So you nailed it in that sense. So that was my first time ever coming in touch with you. I was like, we're being sold now. And boy, this guy is building himself up pretty big. And I was like, he's done a good job. He's done some things and he's like, it was masterfully done. Just it depends on what I had no interest in buying anything that day. I wasn't the target audience. Some people were.
Well, but here's the thing. A lot of people did.
Yeah.
A lot of people did. And then they do. And it just depends what people like resonate. But the people that did attract more or less are high level because I do attract that high. I don't attract that with like for me dancing around and high fiving. That's not my audience. And I know the people there are like, what the hell is
that's not you. But I think bring this back, JT, bring this back. You did the one thing that everyone should do at the first. You have to create attention. And you created so much attention in the beginning of all the pictures, all the videos of everywhere you've been in the world. I mean, it was over the top, but you created that attention. And I think that's like a starting point for everything. What makes you different? You started that and you won that.
And here's the thing, you can't be like Tony because you're going to lose because people like so that's a differentiation. But I agree. Listen, that's why at my events, like Mega Success, which I'll probably have you at one of those. So you got to have once the world opens back up. But we have 31 A-list celebrities. Our clients get to be on stage with the celebrities. They get to take pictures. They actually sit in my seat and interview the celebrities. It's a huge wow experience, food trucks, all that stuff. But that event's a little bit different. Those are like my clients. So I agree. I mean, and the problem is when you're at somebody else's, you're playing by somebody else's rules. And here's the thing too, you can't sell, you don't get invited back. You know what I mean? And so that's the challenge of that. But I would not have run the event like that before. And to me, it would be more of an experience because to be honest with you have like 5 assholes selling. That's not an experience for people, even though some of them have good content. People are like, ugh, I'm being sold. Whether it's a good ad or a bad ad, they still think they're being sold. So I completely agree with you. And by the way, but here's the thing too, if you get 5% of the audience will make millions. So you don't need that 95.
Yeah. Sorry, I said the best question is that's who are you not for? And so I always
but that impression could have led when we message you and be like, oh fuck, that guy's an asshole. I don't want to be on, you know what I mean? Which, you know, yeah, I have a big audience and stuff like that. I'm somebody, but it's interesting because that could have affected this interview. Could have.
I know there was something behind it, and I think everyone does. Anyone that can get on a stage is smart enough to know some of the other things and what they're doing and why they're doing it and how they're doing it. And so I knew there was some kind of technique there. And so there's something behind it. It's the same thing. People look at me, this crazy guy in the yellow tuxedo, JT, they're like, that guy's just a crazy bastard. But when hopefully they get to know that I have a little heart and I actually doing things that make sense of business, it's like, oh, there's more to this story. Now you're more interesting because there's more to this story than just being a regular guy. So there is a value.
People sit there, all they are thinking is this real or not? Like, is this guy real or not? Because that's what people say in the audience, right? And if you don't like someone, you slowly can change them. Or people don't like it, they want to keep looking at things. If someone's like it, they'll listen to that and they can hear no wrong. It's tough.
Couldn't stop watching though. The thing is, couldn't stop watching. That's the thing. That the attention. It was like I didn't turn off. Some people in that same speech, same event, I turned off. We were turned on because I was like, this is very interesting. He's going all out here. Because
before me, there was a stock pitch, which was boring as shit. Yeah. There was a real estate pitch, which by the way, ironically, that company got shut down by the FTC. So kind of ironic, come to think about it. You know what I mean? So because I sat backstage, and the problem is this, is that, as you know, people do things and what they're doing is not, like, you know, what they're saying is bullshit. You understand? Because I've been in business and stuff like that. And so what happens is and obviously they make it look so easy, everybody can do it. And then what happens is you then go and then you're competing against two people who really overpromised the whole thing. And so you have to push harder. That sometimes when you're first, it's a little bit different. And my philosophy is shit's hard, you know, it's like, so it's different. It's challenging. And here's the thing too, now with the pandemic being, you know, over in some sense, but the world reopening, there's a whole new, because you don't know if what worked before will work now, but you do know that people are yearning for entertainment, attention, experiences more than ever. That's one thing realized. That's why you're positioned very well as well. So what's your website? What's your book? Just mention that. I like to promote that.
Yeah, the first book was Find Your Yellow Tux, and now we're in the second book, and we're actually leaving it up to all fans. So we're having fans contribute stories, fans to the title of the book. So it's all following the fans, which is really who we're about. So the first book, Find Your Yellow Tux, and the second book will be out early 2022, which we're excited.
You know why I resonate? You know what the core message of my organization is? Family first. I treat my clients like family. So that's why it resonated so well with, like, everything our people do has to do in line with, is this our family? Is this how we treat our family? And that's how I built the empire that I did. So very interesting. Fan first was like family first. I like that as well. Second of all, are you going to send me some banana merch, or do I have to like, I think I got to get some free merch.
You know, JT, you're killing me. You know, usually that's part of my, the surprise. You get a special.
I'll just get that. I just give it a t-shirt. On the underwear, you need like 4 bananas. You know,
I need to get the big underwear for you.
You get the big bananas as well, but I'll wear that t-shirt. I like the thing, the angry banana there. I like it.
How
much did you pay for that logo, by the way?
What's that?
Where did you get that logo?
So we worked with a company that was not the main one. We worked with the second one that had something to prove and that had success with inanimate objects. And so we worked with a company.
What did that logo cost you?
Take a guess.
$200.
Oh, geez, no. All right. I thought you were going to go, most logos, like a really good logo, you're talking 25, 50, 100,000. We got 8,000.
Really? Just for a logo?
Oh,
because you could have gone for 99 Designs or like they'll compete.
100%. And that was the biggest debate with the whole company. We didn't have any money, but I said, guys, this is our brand. This needs to be strong. So he helped. Studio Simon did an amazing job designing our whole brand, and it was well worth it. It's probably one of the best investments we've ever made.
Yeah, no, like $8,000. Wow, I didn't know, because Nike cost like $35.
Was it? Yeah. We invested a little bit more.
At $35. Wow, that's fascinating as well. Well, I really appreciate it. It was phenomenal. Anytime you want to come back, or when you have the new book, we're definitely going to promote that for you as well. And so it's exactly like I thought it was going to go. I've done enough to know as well. So there you have it, the banana split man, Jesse Cole, Jesse the Banana Cole. And so great story. And I'm definitely 100% going to put on my schedule to come see you personally and kind of see the experience for myself. And
I love it. Where are you out of, JT?
I'm like Chicago, Florida. I'm everywhere.
Okay.
So
all right. We'll find a way. We might come to one of those cities too. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely be there too. So fantastic. Well, there you have it. We'll see you next time. my first guy in a yellow tux actually turned out pretty good. So I'll stick to my JT Foxx ties, but who knows? I might have a Jesse Banana Yellow. I don't know. I might even in his honor create a Banana Yellow in his honors. Who knows? I'll go back to the drawing board. We'll see you next time. Check out the book, check out his website, and probably re-listen to this interview more than once, because I think you're going to pick up things that you may not have got in the moment that you'll get back in there, because the nuggets here were probably far some of the best we had. Thank you so much for being on, buddy. We'll see you next time.